Well, hello again, everybody. I'm glad to see you all again. Hope that you're able to connect with me. Hope you're able to see me. I'm actually trying a new software, so I hope that you're actually able to see me. Um, if you're able to see me, let me know. Let me see you waving your hands. That'd be great. I think there might be a little latency. I'm not quite sure how my software is working, but I'm trying to come across with a new piece of software that talks about perhaps how I can connect better with you. There should be some ability also to connect better with me, ideally, if you're able to chat in the chat box. So let me know if you're able to see me in the chat box. Let me see if you're there. And let me see if you are actually, you know, in the chat box. Hello, Wendy. And I see Kathy. How are you? That's great. Loving seeing everybody there. Good. So it's wonderful to actually see everybody because this new streaming software that I'm using is it's Webinar Jam, and I just want to make sure that it's actually working well. So I'm glad that you're here. And hi, Bo. How are you? And kind of quickly, what I wanted to do today is really go over the main topic today. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Um, Today's topic is all about gratitude, and I thought it was rather timely to talk about gratitude, especially given the fact that we're going to have Thanksgiving tomorrow. So, what better time to talk about gratitude? And it's wonderful. I see you, Richard. Preach. Looking forward to this. Great. I can't wait to preach from my lofty pulpit, right? Um, one of the things that I love to do is to really talk about things that are kind of near and dear to my heart, and hopefully kind of connect with you as well. And it's especially important when I begin to look at what's all around us. What do we connect with? How is it that we're thinking, especially as we're here with Thanksgiving right now, and all the blessings that we all have, whether that's food on the table, clothes that we have that we're wearing, a roof over our head, etc. When you think about it, all the wonderful things that we have every day, what would happen if you were to take that all away? It's kind of mind blowing when you begin to think just how lucky and just how fortunate we truly are. And that's why I want to focus on gratitude, because that's really one of the biggest ways that you can boost your own personal happiness. Because there's this um, marathon or sprint, if you will. Everybody's trying to chase happiness. Everybody's trying to find the next best thing. Everybody's trying to say, oh, if I only had X amount of dollars, or oh, if I only had this great position, or if I only had this next great technical device, right? But we're constantly chasing, and it feels like we're always moving the goalposts, right? It's like we get this thing that we're after, and then we're like, you know, I want more, or we just don't feel like we're fulfilled. We don't feel like we're um, feeling like it's enough because we're always looking for more, whether that's the human mind or whether that's because we're thinking, well, that was easy. I really got it. But the problem is because we're constantly moving the goalposts, we never feel satisfied, right? Think back when you were right out of college, for example, and you were just hoping you'd land that job, right? Right out of college wasn't much. The first job out of college, we barely were making anything. And we look back on it. But when we first got out of college, that was a big deal. We got that job. We are like, wow, whatever it was, 10, 15, 20, 30, $50,000, whatever it was when we got out of college, right? Look back on it now, we're like, doesn't make a dent. But if you notice how all the goals kept on changing, you kept on wanting to get more and more and more and more. And it's the same thing with like all of our technical devices, especially technical, right? Oh, I want the iPhone 1, then the 2, then the 3. Got to have the 4, got to have the 5. Now it's the 12 or whatever else. It just keeps on going. Oh, I got to have that best car. Oh, I got to have that Audi or the Mercedes or the BMW. Whatever it is. It just keeps on going. So we got to focus on not that moving goalpost, not that next best thing, but we got to focus on what is it that's in our heart. So if we're more grateful for what we have already, we don't have to worry about those goalposts moving, right? So focus on the things that you like in the here and the now, not the things that you want to have, because then you're kind of putting your mind in what can I do in the future? I'm always thinking in the future, thinking the here and now, thinking the present, think what am I grateful for now? And when you start thinking about what is it that you are grateful for now, you're lowering your stress level. You're calming your nerves, right? It's keeping you smiling because you're happy, because it's creating happiness for yourself. It's kind of like those feel good hormones all of a sudden start to rip up, and they're really loving that, right? And so that's what's so important. So it becomes that attitude of gratitude, which you've probably heard before, but that's so important. Practice your gratitude. Maybe write down, things like in a gratitude journal. Don't look for the big things. Don't think, oh, I got like a gazillion dollars in the bank. What is it that you're grateful for? It's the little things that count. Oh my gosh, I love that hot cup of coffee in the morning. Or, oh, I love it when the sun rises. It's so beautiful. Or, oh, I love connecting with nature. Or, oh, that warm sunshine on my face. Or, again, curling up with that book by the fireplace. Maybe you're wrapped up in a blanket. That seems good to me. Or, how about that wonderful giant turkey for Thanksgiving? Or better yet, how about family? Be grateful for family. I mean, what more can you be grateful for than family? You can take away everything else, and if you just think all I have is family and friends, that's all you need. The perfect example is there have been studies done about happiness that some of the most happy people on the planet live in some of the poorest countries. And you'd think, why is that? How could that possibly be? Right? Here we are, we're walking around with all of our high-tech gadgets and our expensive cars, our fancy houses. You'd think we'd be really happy, right? Obviously not, because we're chasing that next thing. People in the poorest countries, all they care about are food that they can eat, the family that's around them, the shoes on their feet, the clothes they can wear, and maybe a shelter over their head to keep the water out. It's not much, but boy, are they happy. They're so happy because they're grateful for the little things in their lives. They're also grateful for all the wonderful feelings of nature and sun and everything else, right? So it's all the little things that are so important. So if you begin to feel grateful for all the little things in your life, you begin to take on a whole new perspective. All of a sudden, your perspective shifts from thinking, oh, these are all the things that I want, which kind of gives you a sense of lack because you're wanting, right? So it goes from a feeling of lack, a sense of lack because you're wanting something else, to a sense of having something you've already got. It's already here and you're enjoying it because it's so easy for us to just absolutely take things for granted. Let's say we're with a spouse and we take them for granted. Well, maybe they're not here anymore. We took them for granted for 25 years and whoops, that came out of the blue. Or maybe we take for granted the fact that we can all hang out together without a disease. Well, whoops, that certainly got shocked because now for the last 2 years, we can barely, stay within 6 feet of each other. It's like all these things we're just taking for granted. Pretty soon, who knows? Maybe we'll take, food for granted. Imagine, and I go back to this initial analogy, imagine if all of a sudden, like, your house burned down. You still got your family, but you were taking your family for granted. All of a sudden, it's like your family becomes precious to you, right? Um, it's you got to start thinking of what is it that is going to make you feel so grateful. Um, and that's why I'm saying, imagine if you suddenly didn't have a home. Imagine you didn't have any hot water again. I'd hate that, right? I couldn't take any nice warm baths. That'd be terrible. I'd be like, oh, what am I going to do with life? Imagine taking a shower for the rest of your life. Every day you'd have to get up and you have to take a cold shower. That would suck. So you gotta start realizing how significant these small things are. What would it feel like if it was cloudy forevermore? Sun would never shine again. It was just nothing but gray clouds, gray sky. That'd be pretty depressing. So start thinking, wow, what a beautiful concept. I love the sun when I get up in the morning. Imagine if you didn't have any food. I mean, here we are in the land of plenty, food galore. Yet there are so many people around the world, and dare we say, even the United States. Here we are thinking we've got all this food, but there are so many people around the US, even in big cities, especially in big cities, that don't have any food. They don't have any shelter. They don't have anybody to care about them. How would you like to be in their shoes? It's a whole different mindset. So be grateful for everything that we've got in our lives. And when you start to pay forward the concept of gratitude, and you start to pay forward this concept of giving, of caring, of sharing, that's what makes it real. When you start to share that feeling of gratitude, the feeling of your own personal wealth of joy. And I say wealth of joy, I mean, I'm so joyful for my food. I'm so joyful for my family. I'm so joyful for the shelter. I'm so joyful for nature and the bright sunshine. When you start to pass forward that grateful attitude, it makes it tangible because it's no longer you. You're sharing your blessings. You're sharing everything that you have in your life. You're sharing everything that's so important. And when you try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes that doesn't have everything that you're grateful for, imagine how grateful they would be. For a second, just play a little exercise with me. Let's say you're that person in the street, down and out in his luck, doesn't have any food, doesn't have any shelter, doesn't want to go to the homeless shelter because it's probably pretty terrible in there. And then all of a sudden, this wonderful person stops by, sits down next to you, starts engaging in conversation, looks at you one on one, treats you like a real human being, starts giving you food, starts helping you, and keeps doing that. Imagine how that person who's receiving all this love and care and gratitude is going to start feeling. It's going to be completely different. And imagine how you would feel if you were the person giving. You would feel tremendous. And that's why it's so important to carry forward, to give, and have this feeling of gratitude because as you're giving, as you're caring, as you're giving others, that's when it starts to really hit home. You've heard the saying clearly, "'Tis better to give than receive," and we all wonder, what does that mean? Why, I want to start getting some of that, right? But when you start thinking about it, if we're all interconnected, spiritually, energetically, even just physically because we're all on the same planet, or physically because we're all in the same town, or whatever you want to look at it, we're all interconnected in some way, shape, or form. We all are weaving together. It's all part and parcel of all the same thing. So when you're giving to somebody else, you're ultimately giving to yourself. As you share your love and caring and gratitude to other people, it comes full circle back to you. And again, I use that homeless person. Let's say you share your food and everything else to that homeless person, and they look at you with just sheer amazement, joy, bliss, happiness. And what do they say? Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. The expression of amazement is just shocking. If you've never done that before, try it. You'll start to cry. You'll just start to think, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this person really needed everything so badly. And you'll start to say, wow, this really has changed me. So really start focusing on the gratitude. Really start focusing on what it is you have in your life and what you can share. And ultimately, that's what Thanksgiving is all about. That's what the season is of the season of thanks is all about. That's why you give thanks. You give thanks to source energy that provides it all. You give thanks to your family and close friends. You give thanks to everything that's in your life, food, shelter, etc. And now, as you start to, pay it forward, all the little things that are in your life, you're not going to be thinking, uh, I'm just going to take it for granted. You're going to be paying attention to it much more. It's going to be, creating so much more positivity and so much more happiness. You're going to go around no longer thinking, I got to move those goalposts. So I'm going to keep on looking for the next best thing. I'm going to look for the next best car, next best phone, next best house, whatever it is. You've already got it. You've had it forever. You just didn't even realize it. You took it for granted because you were trying to keep up with the Joneses and saying, "Oh, I'm going to get that better thing. I'm going to, make myself feel even better." Why? You've got it. You've got it inside already. So focus on that. And I think that's really something that's, so important. Um, and one of the things that I really want to do now is, and I love doing this, is hearing from you and trying to answer questions from you. So if you've got questions, let me know. Let me hear from you, and let me know that you're out there because I'm seeing a lot of names, and I love seeing your names. But if you've got you know, questions that I can try to answer. I'd love to to see that. I'd love to hear from you because this is such an important topic. As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit passionate about this because I know that when I started practicing gratitude, and I know when I was working with a gratitude journal myself, I would do it every day. And that's the other part. One thing I forgot to do was every day when you do a gratitude journal, it's important to do it every day at the same time. It's important to do it either in the morning every day or do it in the evening every day. And all you're doing is writing down, three things, three small things that you're grateful for. And every day it might be three little things. And try to do something that's different every day. Again, maybe you might start to say, "Hey, I've got this mug of coffee every morning, and I love my cup of coffee." That's number one. I love the sunrise that I saw this morning. That'd be number two. Or I love the feeling of walking out in the warm weather this spring and seeing all the flowers when I walk outside my house. That would be number three, and you're done. So don't make it like this onerous task. Don't make this really difficult process because that kind of defeats the purpose. What you want to do is make it something that is easy and fun and enjoyable, and that's really what's something that's so important. So again, I'm inviting you to write in your questions. If you've got questions about this, things that I can try to answer for you, I'd love to hear from you. And it's also really wonderful. What I love to see is that there's so many people from all over. I'm seeing people from Minnesota. I'm seeing people from all over the country, which really warms my heart, and I love seeing that. So if you have questions about gratitude, if you have questions about the process, I'd love to hear about it. Because gratitude, again, is, they've done studies about gratitude, and they've shown that one of the underpinning aspects of happiness is gratitude. It's really focusing on, like I said, the attitude of gratitude. But it's if you're just focusing on what is it that makes you happy, you're going to be moving the goalpost. You're going to be searching for the next best thing, and you're never going to get it. You're never going to achieve it because you're always finding something else. It's always migrating. It's kind of like what is it? Charlie Brown and Lucy. I feel like you're always searching for something. You see the ball right in front of you, and all of a sudden, poof! Somebody moves the ball, and you land up on your backside, and you're like, "Wait a second, who moved the ball?" It always works that way. So if you're never focusing on something that you already have, then look at that. And Kathy is saying that she's so grateful for everything in her life, and that's what's so wonderful is that she's connected to everything that exists, and that's what's so important. So, Kathy, I love that idea that you're connected. It's that connectedness because we are all connected. I mean, I can go on and on about that. The fact that we're all connected energetically, we're all from one source. You can go back in time and you can say that before the Big Bang ever even occurred, there was nothingness. We were all connected from one source energy that split itself into a gazillion pieces, and we're one of those pieces, and we're all connected from the same source, a singularity. So that's how we're all connected. Plus the fact that we're all made up of the same thing, we all have the same energy, we are all one. So you can look at it that way. So yes, we're all connected. Absolutely. Oh, and Nova Scotia. I didn't realize you were in Nova Scotia, Wendy. Wonderful to have you here. So thank you for joining. Um, and Richard's asking, does gratitude bring us closer to the spiritual world? Absolutely. Good question, Richard. Um, because what it helps you to do is it helps you become that much more spiritual. It helps you lead a more spiritual life. It helps you to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. You are focusing on happiness. And if you are carrying the gratitude forward, like I was mentioning before, what you're doing is you're helping others. You're caring about others. You're loving others. And it's that positivity, that loving, that caring, that helping of other people that makes you that much more of a spiritual being. We're all spirit beings living in a material world. But when you begin to activate your spiritual qualities, like your gratitude, your giving, your caring, your thinking of others, that's when you really elevate your spiritual qualities in multitudes, right? So that would be one way to answer it. It's really something about just like a practice. Keep practicing your gratitude. And Kathy is mentioning about meditating in gratitude. When you meditate and you have a meditation about gratitude, you're kind of combining the best of both worlds, right? Because you're meditating and you're allowing your mind to become calm and think gratitude. And what a wonderful place to be, right? Um, and I love it. Sarah's saying that this Thanksgiving that she's so thankful just to be able to connect with everybody else as well, as well as the book, but also just to be in the holidays and to be without her loved ones. So I would say in response to that, you're always with your loved ones. You may not think about it, you may not realize it, you may not see them, hear them, touch them, but they're still there. They're still as alive as they always were. And the analogy I always use is Imagine that your loved one just happened to step into the library, close the door, and you can't see them. They're still there, right? Same thing with spirit. When a person transitions into spirit, it just means they've transitioned into another place. They've transitioned into another state. They've transitioned. It's like the caterpillar to the butterfly. Did the caterpillar die? No. Just became a more beautiful thing. Transformed, transitioned from this animal that crawls on the ground to this beautiful, evolved, colorful being. Sound familiar? That's spirit. It's exactly the same thing. So they haven't gone anywhere. They're still with us. It's just in a different form. So that would say that would be one thing to think about. Um, and Richard's asking, is saying thank you once enough, or do we need to say it over and over? I think the simple concept of saying it is just, that's enough. Of course, you can certainly say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, but after a while it loses its punch, right? So I would say, so long as you're continuing to practice, like writing down your gratitude journal, coming up with new things, coming up with new ideas, and you're constantly thinking about different things that you're grateful for, it's the attitude. It's not so much that you got to keep on saying thank you, thank you, thank you about the same thing, but it's the attitude that's going to carry you forward, right? Um, and Barbara is really saying that she's grateful for all the signs that her husband keeps leaving. So that's wonderful. So it's wonderful to know that you're actually staying so grateful, not only for your husband, but staying grateful for the signs that you're receiving in the here and now. I always go back to the present, staying in the here and now. And you've heard me talk about that in meditation, right? It's staying in the here and now. What is it that keeps you present? Your attitude, your actions, your thoughts, so long as you're thinking loving thoughts and happy thoughts and positive thoughts of gratitude and love in the here and now and being in the present, then that's really what's going to maintain all of the positivity going forward. Um, and that's another thing. Shelley's uh, saying thank you makes others happy. I would say that's 100% true. I would add to that, saying thank you makes you happy too. Not only does it make others happy, it makes you happy. Think about how you feel when you say thank you to somebody. How do you feel? You are feeling grateful. So it definitely makes others feel wonderful and blessed, but that's part and parcel of paying it forward. You're relaying your feeling of gratitude to them. You're letting them know your feeling. And that's kind of the part. It's like you've got to express it. Express your gratitude in multiple different ways by saying thank you, by giving thanks, by offering things, by offering your love and blessings to other people. These are all just different facets of trying to get your love and blessings and gratitude to other people. Um, And Kathy's saying being grateful has changed my mind. Absolutely. Isn't it amazing how the mind shifts when you begin to think about uh, gratitude and you look at people in a whole different way. You see people in a different way when you start to become grateful. It's like all of a sudden somebody's taken off the blinders. You're like you see everybody in a different light. You see your world in a different light, and it's all about that. So I find it's just absolutely amazing. Um, and Shelley's saying, it's not perfect, but some don't care if you show gratitude. They may not outwardly show it, but inwardly Inwardly, they'll definitely feel it. Inwardly, they will definitely know it, um, process it, and it'll start to layer on. So I would just say, let them know. They may also be so wrapped up in their own world that they can't even process it. And they start to take things for granted, right? So it kind of goes back to that whole idea. So I've been ranting on my soapbox for the last 30 minutes now, and I wanted to thank you all for partaking in this whole conversation. It's been wonderful speaking with you again and talking about gratitude, and especially this Thanksgiving holiday. So I wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful time with loved ones and friends. And the bottom line is definitely love yourself. Be grateful for yourself. Be grateful for everything that's in your life, but also be most grateful for yourself. Imagine if the world did not have you, it would not be the same. Pretend you're an outsider looking in. Love yourself. It's all about love. So I send you my love and blessings, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and a loving weekend. So, best to you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye bye.